You motherfucking animals! You liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals! You are so hateful in your hearts to go out and shoot a young man who's never hurted anyone with Christian values, a young, beautiful family, a father, a husband, a friend, a son. You shot him. Why? Because you didn't agree with his politics? Because you didn't agree with his ideology? That's the reason why he deserves to die? You fucking animals!
And I can't prove this, but I know that man, that Charlie Kirk, I know that he waited until he said gang violence to then pull that trigger. I know that he waited for that moment. I don't want to hear it. I can't prove it, but I know he did. Because the fucking irony of you to be talking about gang violence just to be shot by one of your own, just to be shot by another fucking rich cracker. Now, I'm not going to be nasty and say that this is a victory. However, this is a step closer. We are a little bit closer to the actual target. That was a very gruesome assassination. My God. His neck looked like a Hawaiian punch dispenser. Never in all of my days of living did I think that we would be witnessing live assassinations. Like, we have fully regressed to the past. And since we're here, Kamala, I don't think that you should do that book tour, Buki. I don't think you need to do that book tour, especially because that man took away your Secret Service. I think you just might need to do a couple Zoom calls. I don't know. If the streets ain't looking safe, Sister Cat. The streets are not safe.
Is this a woman who he thought the least of, sitting up here talking about somebody who would have got clocked by him? Think about everything America was built on and tell me why any of his points should have mattered when he was advocating and saying he's sick of violence, but was talking about people should be allowed to have their guns just as long as they're not, transgender or, gay or any of that, or, black or, Ukrainian or, anything but a white man. The same man who stood up there and told one of the female debaters that we need to go back to the 1960s where women weren't even allowed to barely do anything, barely speak unless they were spoken to. This same man. Actually, the only thing I ever agreed on him was about fathers need to be there. Bye, Mookie.
It is worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some deaths in the United States so that we can have the Second Amendment. That is a quote by Charlie Kirk. Another thing he said was, I think empathy is a new age term that is causing a lot of damage to our society. Okay, Charlie. You said it. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel deeply for his family. There are people that cared about this man, and their pain is going to be monumental. And I feel for them. I really, really do. But try as I might, I just cannot feel bad about the loss of someone who has spread so much hate and made a career out of trying to take people's rights away. I just can't do it. I tried. I cannot do it. I'm sorry.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage.
There's a lot of people being policed based off of how they show empathy or the lack thereof when it comes to Charlie Kirk. And I believe there's a lot of videos and things this man has said that's echoing in folks' heads. Probably debating with the devil right now. Him, Ronald Reagan, George Bush. Yeah, they having a debate of hell.
The same people who spent the last 2 years telling us to treat the murder of tens of thousands of innocent people in Gaza as an acceptable and justifiable loss are now about to get real precious about the sanctity of one human life. Like, we're expected to just go about our lives knowing that our taxes are going towards the ending of the lives of tens of thousands of people. Like, we're supposed to just carry on as normal. But right now, the news is about to completely come to a halt and everybody's supposed to just pause and take a minute because of one guy. One guy. Oh, and not just one guy, this guy.
Like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m., and all of a sudden she, removes consent. Yeah, that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me when I say...
She still removed consent, did she not?
Okay, but again...
if he continues to go onward with that encounter, then he is sexually assaulting her.
Again, that is such an unfair categorization. It's very case dependent.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe.
I don't feel bad that Charlie Kirk died. I feel bad that his life was taken. Do you agree or disagree? Somebody just commented that on my last video, and it really reminded me of a comment I saw in a post on Twitter. This is the same post where I learned that Charlie Kirk died from his gun wound and that the injuries were fatal. This commenter said, Charlie Kirk died for exactly what he believed in. I had to sit back and think about that because it is true. Charlie Kirk advocated for the gun laws that ultimately led to his demise. And I think this leads into a larger conversation about being very cognizant and empathetic when you are forming your political and social opinions. Because seeing that Newsweek article with the headline, Charlie Kirk says gun deaths are unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment, but then seeing him die by a gun death in an open carry state is him being forcibly placed into somebody else's shoes, and they eventually became his own. In any scenario where he's talking about gun deaths, gun violence, the Second Amendment, it is a very clear lack of empathy. And pause. Didn't he say that empathy was a weakness? I'm pretty sure he said empathy was a weakness. So I feel like we can see this same parallel in situations where we're talking about immigration, where we're talking about racism, where we're talking about police brutality, where we can very confidently speak on issues with the person being affected by that issue as an other until we are forcibly put into their shoes and then we don't like it. And hopefully nobody has to be put into the other person's shoes because none of those situations are good, positive, or desirable. But this is just a reminder to mind what you say, to mind what you think, and to shape your perspective around somebody else's experience other than just your own. Because ultimately, it will make a difference for not just you, but the people around you, your community, and the world at large. Again, thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk's family. This is a very unfortunate situation, very tragic, shouldn't have happened. I condemn the violence, but this is something important to talk about.
This is the most significant political assassination since Martin Luther King, since J.F. Kennedy. Let that land. Charlie Kirk has been shot. A man who built a movement, who speaks for millions, targeted on a university stage. This isn't just another news story. This is history being written in blood. When Martin Luther King was gunned down, it tore America apart. When Kennedy was taken, the world shifted forever. And now, in 2025, Charlie Kirk has been struck down from 200 yards away. Whether you loved him or hated him, this changes everything. It sends shockwaves through politics, through culture, through the very idea of free speech. A bullet doesn't just silence a man, it echoes through a nation. And I'll tell you this, what happened in Utah will shape the future in ways we can't yet imagine. This is the most far-reaching act of political violence in our lifetime.
So one of Trump's biggest allies just was shot in the neck at a public event in Utah, and I want to go ahead and just say that while I don't feel bad that this happened to him, I do not think this is something to be celebrated. I'm actually very, very nervous for the wave of violent and vicious crimes that are coming to follow after this, because this was such a public and huge display of rebellion. Pretty much that was an execution. That was a public execution. He was shot in the neck. He was not shot in the torso. He was shot in the neck. He was shot in the neck. That man was shot in the neck. That was a public execution. That was an assassination attempt. If he lives, that was an assassination attempt. That is not good. That's not good for us. That's not good for us. You know what assassination attempts means? Retaliation. It means even less freedoms. It means that fucking sundowning lunatic of a president that we have is about to make things even worse. It's about to get even worse. It's about to get even worse. I think for the first time in a minute, I am genuinely scared. I don't really know how to feel about that. That was something. What the fuck is going on?
Dang, y'all, that was quick. But you know what? I went to the Graceland Memorial School of Medicine, and Dr. Christina Yang taught me everything I need to know about arteries and veins and all that stuff, so I knew it. But these are my predictions. 1, the person they catch, it's definitely going to be somebody attached to former military, law enforcement, because there's no way you hit with that precision from what I assume to be like a decent length, because the video I saw, it was a guy in blue, and he looked to his right, and they looked like they were on a ledge or like a garage or something, and there's no way you hit it from that distance without formal training. Okay, I'm on to you. Number 2, and this might put me on a list somewhere, but who cares? I think a certain place in this world that shall remain nameless, you know, Voldemort's people, I think them folks, right, are known for that type of thing. If you catch my drift. 3, right? I'm still going to Popeyes. I ain't even going front. I'm still going to Popeyes because today is still a Wednesday and everybody freaking out about the fact that this happened. Hello, this is the country of Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth. In fact, dare I say it? This is the American way. So, you know, prayers and tariffs, you know, condolences and I don't know, like good luck, I guess. But this got nothing to do with me. I'm a civilian.
Okay, so the conservatives who are saying nobody should get shot for their beliefs, like we can see that you're scared of people like coming for you because of your beliefs. I'm so sorry. The shit you guys push and endorse kills people, ruins people's lives. This is the result of the shit you say. I don't give a fuck what people do to you because of the shitty stuff that you say, believe, and push. If you don't like it, that's tough. I don't give a fuck. We can tell you're scared. And you know what? You should be.
We all saw the same video. They straight JFK'd his shit. Bah, that was crazy. But my thing is, the white on white violence in this country, y'all, astronomical. That's really what we got to talk about, because I thought come January 20th of this year, we were supposed to be a country of law and order. And in Utah, of all places, that's crazy, y'all. Thoughts and tariffs. But I just want to understand, right? Why are people celebrating this? That's crazy. I mean, he did say a couple of pew-pew deaths a year is integral to keeping our Second Amendment. But political violence is never the answer, guys. It's not okay. I'm a civilian. I have nothing to do with this. These are just my thoughts. I just want to understand, right? It's kind of crazy, don't you think? I just wonder too, like when you say things like Islam is incompatible with the West, or like when you talk about black people or immigrants and stuff like that, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? You have freedom of speech, but I don't know, right? Once again, I'm a civilian. I got nothing to do with this. Anyways, what y'all want for Popeyes? I'm thinking like a 2-piece chicken dinner. And maybe leg and thigh, extra spicy, extra crispy, with some Cajun fries and a biscuit on the side and some sweet heat and like a strawberry Fanta, because you know you can't go to Popeyes and not get a strawberry Fanta.
They got the fuck out of Charlie Kirk, bitch. Like, I was gonna get on here and try to be funny and be like, they got Charlie Kirk, like the Charlie Kirk that said casualties like that were necessary to protect our Second Amendment. But, like, I can't even be funny because they didn't even just get him. They got the fuck out of him, bitch. And, like, I got shot before, too. But not like that, bitch. Nah, not like that, bitch. I ain't never been shot like that, bitch. I don't want to be shot like that.
Everyone that was real quiet when all of the kids got shot in the Minneapolis school shooting, they're posting about Charlie Kirk today. You're a hypocrite. And I can say that and also simultaneously say that Charlie Kirk did not deserve to get shot, literally by any means. I disagree with basically everything that guy says, and I still don't think that he should have gotten shot. And I think if you do think that he deserved that, you're a bad person. People are allowed to have different opinions and different views. That's great. He was a debater. He liked to argue with people. He had very strong beliefs, none of which I agree with, but that's not the issue here. The issue is that people are dying. And if you are only looking at one of these situations, and if you're looking at these kids getting shot and you're like, that's awful, but you're looking at Charlie Kirk getting shot and you're like, well, he deserved it, you're missing the point. And vice versa. I'm literally seeing people post today about Charlie Kirk getting shot and they're like, this is so awful. I'm like, radio silence when kids get shot in school shootings, when we're talking about gun control. It's just like the irony of this situation. It's literally terrifying. Like, Charlie Kirk was very pro Second Amendment. Like, he was very pro gun. He wanted no gun control. And then for that to be literally what, I hope he is alive, but it does not sound like he is. If that's what took his life, the irony, it's literally insane. And the entire thing is just mind-boggling, and it's disgusting, and I hate that it happened, but I just don't understand, like, are we not on the same page, you guys, that, like, this should not be happening? I don't care to who it is, it shouldn't happen. That's literally what it comes down to. This shouldn't happen.
I just want to say rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. You guys, you already know I'm a very opinionated person. I make my content centered around reactions, being authentically me, being honest, having an opinion, being strong in my, opinion. I don't think anybody should get in a life for that. I was seeing so many videos right now of, instead of just saying condolences, everybody's justifying that. What's wrong with the world? Even if I didn't like, I don't fucking know, some creator or something, I wouldn't wish death upon them. I definitely wouldn't be cheering if they died. Like, there's a lot of people I don't care for, but if I ever heard, oh, they passed away, I wouldn't be laughing and jumping for joy. I just think that's something that's truly sick. So some of you guys that do that are really sick, y'all. And like I said, he wasn't hurting nobody. If somebody's opinion hurts you, you need help, bro. You're never going to make it in this world if you're going to be like that. But to me, y'all, I really think that meet and greets, events, and all that stuff, let's be real here. You guys are going to end up ruining that. Really think about this. This might be a stretch. This might be a little dramatic. But imagine if the world starts changing so much to the point where they make everything robotic. We can't be around each other no more because of stuff like this, because you guys can't handle being grown adults and having big opinions without acting like a whittle baby. Think about it, y'all. One day they're going to get to a point where they're so sick of us as people. And it seems like it happens so much more in America, like how dumb some people are. It is not that fucking serious. There are people out here who are great people, unalive people. There's people right here in a trafficking ring and doing all these crazy things to kids. Why don't you guys go fucking air them bitches out? I'm not condoning violence at all, but the ammo you have for people that have opinions or that are regular people, it baffles my mind. It makes me not understand what's wrong with this world. I'm sorry, y'all. I can never understand the way people's logic is, but then again, of course, it's always people who aren't conservative who are doing stuff like this. You guys already know I'm not too big into politics, but I'm definitely more conservative than I am liberal, even though I know I have tattoos, but still, I'm sorry, y'all. This is really bad. The world is getting worse, and I'm starting to see that people need help. If you get so bothered by having an opinion, somebody having an opinion, you're not going to make it. I'm telling you that now. I would never want to do a meet and greet. I would never want to do public speaking, none of that stuff. If I have to worry about my safety, all because I'm speaking my mind. Rest in peace to him, and my condolences to his family, because that is so sad, y'all.
For the people saying that we shouldn't be cheering or celebrating the fact that Charlie Kirk literally got shot and that no one should be killed for their political views, please shut the fuck up. Because if you want to go down that fucking road, what about Nazis? What about Nazis, huh? What about the Israeli government killing innocent Palestinians? What about them? Do you believe that they should fucking roam free? Also, just like to say, Charlie Kirk didn't have fucking empathy for anyone. And y'all are telling us to have basic human empathy for him? He literally didn't have empathy for the thought of his own daughter being raped and getting pregnant and possibly having a child. He literally looked that woman in the fucking eyes that asked that question and said, yeah, she would carry through the pregnancy. He didn't have empathy for the fucking thousands of school shootings that happen every year, hundreds of thousands of school shootings that happen every fucking year. He even said that guns save people. And he certainly doesn't have fucking empathy for the women that have to get abortions because of miscarriages, or just have to get abortions, period, because of the fucking sexual abuse that they endure. Charlie Kirk is a fascist Nazi. A fucking fascist Nazi, and y'all need to get that through your thick fucking head. That man does not deserve empathy. He doesn't deserve prayers. He doesn't deserve to fucking live. Charlie Kirk got what was coming to him, respectfully, and I could care fucking less.
So Charlie Kirk has passed away after being shot while speaking publicly, and whilst I think that no child, he has 2 children, deserve to lose their father, it's extremely hard for me to extend sympathy towards him, because in response to the school shooting epidemic in the United States, he said that some number of gun deaths each year were worth it to protect Second Amendment rights. I am urging every single person with that. It could never be me mindset to wake up and very much realize it could be you. You should be voting for things that protect you, protect the children of your country, and aim to overall reduce violence, harm, and disharmony in your society, which is not something that Charlie Kirk was ever promoting.
Every 5 seconds in America, I'm seeing a video. Like, what's going on in that country? I've never been more happy to live in England, bro. I've never bro. Well, put a flag in my room right now. There was this political figure in the US right now and the video was so gruesome. I wouldn't recommend watching it. And I saw the full video and I'm just there like, oh my god. We have problems in the UK, big problems in the UK we need to fix, but at least that's not a major issue. It's an issue. We also have, violence, but it's nowhere near as bad as the US. I've never been more happy to be in this country, genuinely. And my American viewers even let me know, like, how do you feel safe just walking down the street? Like, is there ever a thought in the back of my mind? Maybe I've lived in England for too long, but is there ever a thought in the back of your mind, like, wow, like someone can just do whatever they want because they have I don't know, maybe I'm too coddled and comfortable here in the UK. I don't have to worry about that, but the idea of having to worry about that is so scary.
The World Cup can't be held in the USA next year, man. They just shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, and I've never liked Charlie Kirk. I never liked him, but Afghanistan is probably a safer destination for the World Cup next year than the USA. And this isn't me hating on the US. If you remember me from my old videos where I used to hate on the US sports-wise, it was kind of a joking thing just to get views. This isn't me hating on America, because a lot of my followers are from America. I have a couple friends from America, actually, just that I met through this app. I am genuinely worried for the players, for the coaches, for the staff, for the fans, bro. Because I think this Charlie Kirk incident, it happened in a crowd of maybe, 3,000 people max. The World Cup, there'll be multiple games with 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 stadiums. I'm worried, man. I know I've said this already, but a lot of people hate Charlie Kirk. I don't like Charlie Kirk at all. But he's got 2 daughters, I think. He's got a wife. I feel bad for them a lot.
Do not not watch the Charlie Kirk video. That shit actually traumatized me. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Charlie Kirk may have been, you know, I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. You cannot wish death upon nobody, no matter how bad that person is. This nigga literally had a wife and like 2 daughters, bro. No matter how evil or wicked somebody may be, you can't wish death on them. I'm not gonna lie, cause that karma will hit you like crazy. But if you guys don't know, basically he was at a school yapping, and a sniper, he was a nigga pushing 85 years old, went ahead and sniped that nigga, bro, right in the neck, bro. Oh my god, when I tell y'all that shit traumatized me, bro. I was in class when I seen that shit. I literally immediately went home right after that, bro. I don't know what it is, but I have this thing where like obviously like I could watch, you know, like cartoons and shit, but like when it's like a movie with like real people and like they slice them and like a bunch of blood just start coming, I can't watch that. I always close my eyes. It's like a fear of blood, bro. I have a fear of blood. Like my parents wanted me to be a surgeon, this and that, doctor. I'm like, bro, I can't do that, bro. Blood is too nasty, bro. And in that video, bro, the blood was coming out like juice. Oh my god, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. They need to remove that video off the internet, bro. That shit actually traumatized me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Blood is literally the most scariest shit ever, bro. Each time I see that shit, it gives me goosebumps and I get nauseous, bro. I cannot look at that shit, bro. Delete that video off the internet, but I'm not gonna lie. Prayers for Charlie Kirk, bro. That is something that you don't want to happen to anybody, for real. Unless, of course, you know, they doing stuff with little kids, or, you know, they just like, you know, someone that deserves it. I know a lot of you guys have a bunch of opinions about this nigga. I'm probably like, this nigga deserved it, this and that. But nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I did more research into that nigga, bro, and the fact that he has a wife and 2 kids. It's like, bro, like, you know, like they lost a dad. I mean, it's not really confirmed that he's in critical condition in the hospital, but it's like, bro, a snipe to the neck, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That nigga needs to clutch the gulag if he wants to make it out, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Breaking news, Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk, a right-wing podcaster, influencer, whatever you want to call him, had a speaking engagement there, and we were getting reports that there was gunfire, and that some are saying he was seen falling backward, and there are some claiming that he has been shot. I have not seen solid confirmation of that yet, but it seems to be that Charlie Kirk was potentially shot at this event. Police do have a suspect in custody. As far as all that's concerned, I will say this. Charlie Kirk is a terrible person. Awful. Does terrible things, says terrible things. All that being said, this ain't it. Like, shooting him is not the way. That just makes everything worse. That is not the solution to things. Whoever did that is a fucking terrible person for doing that. But this is developing. As more information comes out, I will post about it.
That's a lot of people, Utah, I'll tell you what. All right, we're going to get started, everybody. You know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from Y-Refi. That was great. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
So here are lessons I learned from, the life of Charlie Kirk as a public person, right? As a creator or someone who talks publicly. This has taught me that you have to mind what you say all the time, right? Sometimes you might be saying things and you think, okay, you are right, but you never can tell. That could actually lead to your end. It's so unfortunate how he has always talked about the whole gun stuff and all of that, and look at how it happened to him, right? So as public people, as people who are creators on the internet, or probably people who go out to speak for people, I think this should really teach people a lot. And I honestly do not support people being happy when someone else has passed, right? I'm not in support of that. I don't like that. I don't like people celebrating at the point of somebody's death. That's crazy. It doesn't matter how terrible of a person that person has been. I don't support that. I could remember when the president of Nigeria died just a few months ago. Nobody liked him, but I couldn't say nothing, right? So people should mind what they say in public. Imagine just passing away from this world and you're meant to see what people are feeling. And you now see people partying and people are happy that you finally passed in such a gruesome manner. It's crazy, right? Very crazy. Nobody should be left to, pass. Oh my God. Subscribe, like, and share these videos. And make sure to drop your own opinion in the comments. It's Global Gist with BJ. I love you all. Bye, guys.